Greetings. My name is Welile Ndlovu. I am a regional court legal practitioner based at the Empangeni local office. I am currently covering a regional court in Empangeni, Welile, and the matters that we cover, they range from sexual offences to all types of offences. As you're all aware, that we are currently celebrating the Women's Month, and many issues involve around women. And as a result of that, we need to protect our women. We need to assist them to be able to survive, in that most women right now are living in fear because of the outcry of violence against them and against children. And it is up to us to fight and to also be able to report incidents that involve violence against women and children. And the best way to be able to do that is to report crimes against women and children. And when it comes to women on their own, the best thing to do is to report as soon as possible when one is sexually violated by someone. And the best way to do it is that it's best to report as soon as possible, in that this will assist in you getting medical attention, medical treatment, and also assisting the police in finding the perpetrator. And also, if you report as soon as possible, the police will open up a case docket. You will give them a statement where you are going to try and give an identity of the perpetrator, and he will be located as soon as possible. And also, if you want to report, don't fear that you do not recall the identity of the person or that you don't know who he is, because the police can assist, and the doctor can also assist in them extracting any possible medical evidence on your body, such as nail scrapings on you, DNA samplings such as saliva on you or hair on you, that can assist in locating the perpetrator. In that also, our system currently, every offender who is arrested, whether it's a minor crime, theft, or anything minor, they take swabs from them, of which they keep in a database with the South African Police Services. And as soon as a person is arrested for anything, they can be brought to book as soon as possible. So do not fear that just because I cannot identify the perpetrator, then that means it's the end of it all. Well, your best reporting it early will assist in him being caught as soon as possible. Even at a later on stage, he can still be caught, because they will extract DNA samples from you, store it, and also from him as well. It will be taken and stored. And as soon as there's a match, it comes up, the person can be brought to court. And also, there's also a system called an identity parade, where the person can also be arrested as soon as you give a clear identity of him, and she can be identified and arrested. And also, that's why it is important that when you report, you make sure that you give a clear account of the events as to where this incident had taken place. You give a clear account of his description, what he was wearing, what he looks like, and all of that, because it will assist in him being identified. Because also, even if you report it as soon as possible, you might find that he's still within the area, or he's a person that is well known for committing such offenses. So that early reporting will assist in him being traced as soon as possible. And another thing is just that some people will fear reporting because they fear that they will be intimidated. They fear that reporting attaches some sort of a stigma, or else they fear reporting because they have a distrust in the police or the justice system as a whole. But you reporting an incident, it assists even another person on the side who might also have gone through a similar incident, or even been raped by the very same person, the one that also had done you wrong. So your reporting will assist a whole lot of other people, not just yourself. And further, after you have reported, the medical doctor will assist in giving you something called the post-exposure prophylaxis, of which is medication to assist you if you treatment of viruses, or if you have contracted an infection from the perpetrator. So that will assist you further with regard to that. And further, after that, you can even be referred to victim support programs, where you can see psychologists, counselors, or social workers who will assist you to be able to deal with the situation. So that's why it will assist to report as soon as possible, in that even after the reporting itself as well, do inform the police officers if the perpetrator had actually threatened you or had been violent, because that information that you give to the to the police officers, as soon as the person is arrested, they will ensure that when the matter goes to court and the person now is an accused person and they are applying for bail, whatever information you give them of the nature of this person, it will assist in him whether he gets bail or not, because that evidence will be brought through the bail application. And further, it will assist you as well to even be put through safety programs to assist you to be protected from this person, or else even him, if he's released on bail, court does make conditions for him to relocate from the area. So it's very important that you report each and every aspect of the abuse that you suffered, and also the person that had abused you. And also when you have to encounter like a sexual, when you are sexually assaulted, make sure that you avoid being intimidated by family members of that person, or that if you report it, it's going to create some chaos within the community. After all, you are entitled to your freedom. You also have your rights as contained in the Bill of Rights, such as you have your right to even dignity as well. So if you feel that you are now being pressurized into not reporting, you do report as soon as possible. And further to that, when it comes to minor children, they are the worst victims of sexual offenses, because sometimes they cannot express themselves. Sometimes they don't even know who to speak to, because you find that some of these offenses, they take place within a protected environment, at a home, at school, or in the playground that is nearest to them. And you find that the perpetrators are somebody that they might know, somebody that might have threatened them, that might have made promises to them. So it makes it somewhat difficult for them now to report. But you as an adult, there is an obligation upon you to assist that minor child to report whatever is going on with them. There is even legislation that was created, or that creates obligations on people that you need to report the commission of a sexual offense against children or people that are mentally disabled. And such has been created by the Criminal Law, Sexual Offences and Related Matters Act 32 of 2007, and also even the Films and Publications Amendment Act 18 of 2004. They have created an obligation upon each and every individual who becomes aware of a sexual offense being committed against a child. And as a created obligation, which means as well that there are penalties involved should you be convicted that you failed to report something that you had knowledge of, or something that you had a reasonable belief that it was happening, or you knew, or you had a suspicion that such was happening. So if you become aware that a child is currently being sexually abused at home, or you know them personally well, you have to report as soon as possible, because that child would also need to go through the system, them getting medical attention, them getting treatments, also the reporting of the perpetrator, and also the tracing of the perpetrator. So it assists the child so much further in that they're also given treatment through social workers, through psychologists as well. And it will assist the child to be able to deal with this at a later on stage, and for the child to be able to speak about what had happened to them. So that's, and also another important thing that we have come across at our courts is that when a child reports an incident of rape, or says something had happened to them, the adult will come to the child. They will be threatening the child, tell me who did this to you. Or sometimes they will make promises, tell me who did this to you, I will give you this. That is totally wrong. That's not the way to do it, because now you interfere with that stability of that evidence when it comes before a court. In that the moment a child says, I was told this, it now opens a can of worms that possibly even your reporting that you were sexually assaulted could not be true. Then it just creates so many problems now for that. In that, and also you find that the child will say that I was sexually assaulted by so and so, because you as an adult were pressurizing them. Did so and so did this to you? Only to find that the child was indeed assaulted, but just because now you are pressurizing them, they will just say the most closest person to them that, oh, it's my uncle who did this, because you are pressurizing the child that who did this to you. And also, even if you threaten the child will say, this happened to me, because you are threatening them. Now they will want to say something to satisfy you in order, and they will do no matter what you say for them to say. Children are very imaginative as well. So even that as well, we have to avoid pressurizing children. We have to avoid threatening them. So we have to just speak in a calm manner. If you feel that you're unable to do that, that's why social workers are there, to assist us to speak to our children and to be able to assist them, and not to put them under that pressure of them saying stuff that did not really occur, or stuff that did occur, but now because you want justice to be brought, the child will just say anyone that they feel should be the person that you treated them. And further to that, we must avoid, like adults, we must avoid that, because a child now is reporting something had happened. You then want to bring the whole family together. You want the matter to be discussed as a family, that the child is saying that Uncle so-and-so did this, so let's discuss this as a family. And you don't report that. What if that person doing that to the child within that family home is doing it to another child in another home within that area? It will continue. It's going to be a pattern that will continue happening, because we as a family decided to protect this one uncle and discuss the matter, and he apologizes. And also just think of the long-term effect on this poor child who has to continuously see this uncle at home, because the whole issue was discussed as a family. So that's why you as an adult, it becomes your knowledge, you become aware that such is happening, or you see a suspicion, report it as soon as possible. Nobody will go after you. There will be no civil or criminal proceedings against you as long as the reporting is made in good faith. So that's why there is now a duty upon us to assist our children in reporting such offences. In that if we as adults, we become aware and we fail to report such, as a person who failed to do this, we can be liable to a conviction, and a conviction which comes with a fine or imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or we can even be given both a fine or a term of imprisonment together. So there is that obligation upon us to do such, to report such. With regard to the Criminal Law and Sexual Offences Related Matters Act 32 of 2007, it does give a definition as to what rape is. In that, rape is intentional, unlawful sexual intercourse with a woman without her consent. So even on a minor child, the issue of consent usually plays quite an important role, in that children below the ages of 12, they cannot legally consent to sexual intercourse. Therefore, it is always rape, irrespective of the circumstances. That's why they even created a statutory rape, to try and avoid children being sexually exploited. So that is how rape has been defined, that the most important part of it is that of consent, because even an adult person, as soon as they say I was raped, the most issue is that they had not consented to that sexual intercourse. So the moment they do not consent, then it becomes a criminal offense. And further to that, there is also indecent assault, which is an assault which in itself is an indecent character. This includes sodomy and all other forms of sexual assault. So sexual assault being in the form of a person touching you inappropriately in your private parts, them groping you, it all becomes now an offense. And also rape in its form, any sort of penetration, whether it is through a finger, whether it is through inserting of an object, any penetration of any form into your private parts, that is rape in itself. And also in its nature, it also even carries minimum sentences when it comes to rape. Such a rape of an adult person, it carries the prescribed minimum sentence of 10 years for a first offender. And if it's a minor child, it carries a minimum sentence of life imprisonment. So it is of quite serious in nature that these offences get treated with the utmost of importance, and they are reported as well as soon as possible, because it does carry such sentences. Should you wish to be advised further on issues involving sexual offences or anything else involving violence against children and women, you can contact our legal aid advice line on the toll-free number 0800 110 110. Or else, if you don't have any funds to call our free line, you can also send us a please call me on the number 079 835 7179, and our office line is available from 9 to 3 p.m. So feel free to contact our lines in any way that we feel that you'll be assisted.